What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Breaking news, President Zelenskyy visiting Donald Trump in the White House today, while Donald and J.D. Vance absolutely tore him to shreds. They let him have it. If you ask me, long overdue. I think it's way overdue, definitely necessary. We're going to go over the entire meeting, because now it is alleged that they didn't even finish the press conference. Zelenskyy apparently got up, left, took his ball, went home, because the pandering isn't continuing. Let's jump straight into it. Let's not waste any time. I want to get right. Hang on. There we go. Okay. We're going to go over this entire meeting, bit for bit. This is nearly an 8-minute clip, so buckle in, folks, because the language used in this video paints a very telling picture. Let's take a look.
This thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions.
So I just want to interrupt J.D. Vance here. So right away, Donald Trump taking the proactive stance that, hey, we want to make a deal. We want to make things work. Again, Donald Trump is pushing for a ceasefire. He's pushing for peace. Zelenskyy's there for a check. He just wants more money. J.D. Vance, of course, backing that up at the start of this argument by pointing out the same thing that's happening in Canada, essentially, is just, we're going to use our words. We're going to give checks. We're going to launder money over to the Ukraine. I know people get mad when I say the Ukraine. Absolutely unrealistic expectations that Zelenskyy had going in here. It's funny that as soon as Zelenskyy showed up, Trump, of course, belittling him outside, saying, look, he got all dressed up today. We all knew how this was going to go down from the start, but I didn't think it was going to go like this. Let's continue.
Makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that.
So you can see on Donald Trump's face here, he's not buying the crap that Zelenskyy's shoveling. Of course, Zelenskyy pulling out his victim card, which has long since expired. It hit its limit ages ago. This is the sob story. These are the usual word salad talking points. Now, what Zelenskyy has to realize is these things might have got through with Joe Biden. They might get through with Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, but these aren't going to get through with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. As he continues his speech here, keep in mind, we're almost nearing the halfway point of this interview. Things are about to get real spicy real fast. Just watch the facial remarks of Donald Trump. You can tell where it's getting heated and it's getting to be a little too much for him to listen to.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
Wow. Wow. What a shot. I mean, this is what we've needed for ages. People to stop pandering, tiptoeing around the ends, just really saying, hey, what is it you're actually trying to do here? What's your goal? When they talk about the propaganda tours, we've even seen it in Canada when it comes to the oil sands. When you hear about, we're ravaging the land. You got James Cameron and all these celebrities coming, Leo DiCaprio doing helicopter tours around the fracking site, saying, look how terrible it is. Look at the ravaged nature. Look at how much they're causing global warming and everything else. It's all out there for people to just consume new product, consume media, buy into the rhetoric. And JD Vance is now giving it to Zelenskyy. Great to see. I got to say, this is refreshing to see in government.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
And there it is. There's the one thing he says. You're going to feel it in the future. So he's making his threats. And I know I cut it off, but you see Donald Trump comes in here real mad, puts him in his place, and backs up JD Vance. This is where the tide turns, because Zelenskyy wants to try and push for, hey, feel sorry for us. Give us more money. It's just money, 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 money. Forever war. Trump's saying we need a ceasefire. We need to negotiate how this ends. He's not interested in that. Trump shuts him down here.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Do you ever think that would happen in Canada? Do you ever think any of our leaders, any of them, would talk to Zelenskyy like this? This is what a businessman benefits from entering into the Oval Office. And this is why somebody who's shrewd in business, who understands how corporation works, how big business works, treats the country as the same thing. You have to have the interests of the people. Trump is asserting his dominance here to make it very clear to Zelenskyy right off the bat. You don't come in here and tout this rhetoric. You don't push this message. We hold the cards. In fact, I believe he says that coming up here. I mean, it's great. It's absolutely great.
We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said things?
Wow. Wow. Unreal. Unreal. Like, who isn't getting the popcorn out at this point? This is what we're talking about with change. This is where I keep saying we're winning. If Trump can put an end to this before Pierre gets in office, before any of this, like Pierre's even talked about funding Ukraine further. Stop it. Let's stop all of that. Hopefully this gets finished quickly. Hopefully the Trump effect takes the stage here. Listen to JD Vance when he comes in here now, just to stack on top what Trump just said.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking.
There
Your
it
country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our...
There it is. You're not winning this. He's letting him know. No further, no muss. You're not winning this. And he's right. You have a good chance of coming out okay with America if he wants to play ball. Of course, we know how it turns out. Let's continue.
Our country staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if,
West
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
accept
times
that
thank
there,
you
accept
to
that-
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying you don't want a
But I
ceasefire.
said to you,
So right there, sorry folks, I just realized my mic was muted when I was trying to add context during the video there. So essentially, this is what sets up the big picture to point out the hypocrisy. Billions and billions of dollars in military equipment. We all know the story going over to Ukraine. And Ukraine wants to turn around with Zelenskyy and say, we need more, we need more, we need more, because it's a forever war. There's no end result here. Trump says, what about a ceasefire? He doesn't want a ceasefire. Why? They're enjoying this. They want the money. They want to launder more. They want to pad their pockets. They're not interested in a ceasefire. Trump is interested in a ceasefire, but what he's basically stated in this meeting is there's not going to be any more money from the United States. And if his guy were to shut up and listen, they're willing to work with them.
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia?
The attitudes have to change. It's going to be a tough deal to make. Absolutely riveting to see Donald Trump standing up to Zelenskyy like this, to see JD Vance pushing back like this. We're back, ladies and gents. This is the tide of the turn, the end of woke. No more pandering. It's over. I mean, look at a good friend of the channel, Jack Dan, tweeting out afterwards, Trump appears to have kicked Zelenskyy out of the White House. Here's a tweet out, statement from President Donald Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I've determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in his cherished Oval Office. In its cherished Oval Office, sorry. He can come back when he's ready for peace. So again, giving him the old boot, telling him to take his ball and go home. I don't know about you guys, but I know usually we only do 2 videos a day. This is a bonus. This was the icing on top today. Had to get this out. Had to let you guys see this. If you missed it, let me know your thoughts below. Do you think it's great Donald Trump is giving Zelenskyy the old boot, that he's cutting him off? No more funds? Should Canada do the same? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if it's your first time here. I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button, you click your bell for notifications. Join me live tonight and every Friday night here on the channel for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where I'm joined by the very beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we go back and forth through everything happening in politics this week. I guarantee we'll be talking about this more tonight, and we hope to see you there. I look forward to chatting with the greatest YouTube community on the platform when you guys are in those live streams outside of making these videos, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say both in the comments down below and tonight in the live stream starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel, and every Friday at the same time. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.